Thanks again for joining us on the program. And just before we get to what happened or played out last night at the Kogi State Governor's Lodge in Abuja, let's tell you that prior to that, the visit of the wanted former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, to the headquarters of EFCC has left many people confused as to what actually played out. The director of Yahaya Bello's media office, Mr. Charles Michael Ohiare, says the former governor honored the invitation of the commission but was not interrogated. However, the head of media and publicity of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Dele Oyewale, says the former governor is not in holding facility or was not in holding facility of the commission and remains wanted by the commission. Let's take a listen to this report.
Early Wednesday morning, a story emerged from the former governor of Kogi State, Mr. Yahaya Bello, that he reportedly honored the invitation of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, over allegations of fraud. Later in the day, pictures emerged of the former governor, accompanied by his successor, Governor Usman Ododo of Kogi State, in what is suspected to be the premises of the headquarters of the commission. A statement from the director of the Yahaya Bello media office, Mr. Ohiare Michael, states that the former governor had finally honored the invitation of the commission to clear his name. The statement adds that the decision was made after due consultations with his family, legal team, and political allies. However, the commission did not initially confirm the statement. Later in the day, a statement from the head of media and publicity of the commission, Mr. Dele Oyewale, explains that Mr. Bello is not within the facility of the commission. Another statement from the former governor's media office states that Mr. Bello was not interrogated by the officials of the EFCC during his visit to the commission. There was no information on how long he stayed within the facility. Mr. Bello is facing money laundering charges to the tune of 80 billion naira. Since the commencement of the case against him at the Federal High Court in Abuja in April 2024, the former governor has been absent from court to take his plea. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
So that is exactly what played out in the day. But in the night, late last night, something actually played out. So I'm going to do two things. First, as at that morning hours, we didn't have visuals of him visiting. We saw pictures. So take a watch, just see the pictures of him visiting. So you can see Usman Ododo with him around the entrance of the EFCC office. And then you see Yahaya Bello. We don't know how long this conversation was. Maybe some officials of the EFCC. We did not see him go into any building. Then he started walking back to the car. And just like that's the much we can get. Now, let's take you to what happened in the night. This is Ododo and Yahaya Bello at the EFCC office. Now, this is around the area where the governor's lodge is in Abuja when the EFCC started looking for former governor Yahaya Bello to get him arrested. And it was quite a situation where even my colleague were affected, their phone and their camera seized and all of that. So you can see journalists trying to make sense of what was going on. But the EFCC was unable to arrest Yahaya Bello at the end of the day. So this is exactly what played out in the very first episode. Well, what really is going on with the issue of Yahaya Bello and the EFCC? We've been joined on the program by Mr. Mike Ejiofor, former DSS director. Mr. Ejiofor, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Ejiofor, I don't know what your interpretation of what played out, because it's just almost amusing what we see play out between the EFCC and Yahaya Bello. He said he was at the office to report himself. So maybe you walk us through what it means to honor an invitation, so we can probe whether Yahaya Bello actually honored an invitation. And if he did honor an invitation, how come he was not arrested? He's a wanted man. And they later went to arrest him later in the night. So help us make sense of this, because Nigerians are a bit confused and almost upset as to what is going on.
Well, I'm as confused as other Nigerians. This is very dramatic. Like in the social media, you get people saying that whatever does not happen in Nigeria does not exist. It's quite unfortunate, honestly speaking, and embarrassing what's going on. From the two parties, let me start from
Mr. Jaffa, can you... Oh dear. Okay, we're trying to see whether we can re-establish connection with Mr. Jaffa. Mr. Jaffa, can you hear us? All right.
Yes, I can hear you.
Please go ahead. For a moment, the network froze.
Yes. So it's very, very dramatic and embarrassing what's going on. Like I said initially, the governor, that's Ododo, facilitated his escape on the first time of arrest before he was declared wanted. Now he's been declared wanted. He's been going to they've been going to court. He's not appearing in court, and suddenly he appeared. Same thing with the same the governor Ododo. I find it very difficult to explain why he was not arrested at the premises of EFCC, because one, he doesn't have immunity. If the governor has, and I don't see any reason why the governor should accompany him to EFCC premises. Perhaps the EFCC, rightly or wrongly, was trying not to interfere with the governor's immunity. But the governor is not a suspect, and he wasn't invited. It was expected that he should have come with his lawyers. But going there with the governor and the EFCC not arresting him at that premises, both parties are wrong. And that is what he said, two wrongs cannot make a right. I can't explain what he said. It's either negligence or a tactical error on part of the EFCC. And on the part of Yahaya Bello, going to EFCC with the governor. Governor is not a suspect. I just can't make up the whole situation. It's very embarrassing.
Because most times the laws of Nigeria are very clear until it gets to politically exposed persons. It becomes complicated. So people are analyzing that video because we're just seeing him around that premises of the EFCC. Whether indeed he came on his own or the governor was the one that just came to visit and he came along is a question we'll need to continue to ask. But I understand you have a busy schedule. So in letting you go, where do we go from here? Because this is a national embarrassment that Mr. Yahaya Bello cannot be taken to court to even take a plea. Whether he is guilty or not guilty is another kettle of fish altogether. Just the situation, because this is becoming a joke taken too far. If the man he has a case to answer, he can clear his name, let him go and clear his name. If he's guilty, let him be found guilty and taken to prison. It's as simple as that. So where do we go from here?
Well, the matter is in court. I think the next adjourned date, he should appear in court if he doesn't want to appear in EFCC, and the EFCC had opportunity of arresting without arresting him. So it's a complicated matter. Let's wait till the next adjourned court date. Let me appear in court, and possibly at court, EFCC will arrest me and conclude the investigation.
Mr. Michael Jofo, I want to thank you so much. Well, we're going to keep calling on you at moments like this. You're a former DSS director, so you have insight as to all of this. I would have liked, if I was talking to the EFCC, maybe if you are still in your office, I would have asked for the logbook, because that's the only way we can establish visit, whether Yahaya Bello actually visited. But all of that is for the EFCC to respond, because they didn't even acknowledge the fact that he came to the office. They say, you're still a wanted man. Mr. Michael Jofo, former DSS director, thank you so much, sir. Let's allow you go for your meeting.
Thank you.